Hello and welcome to Homeschool MBA, where we talk about different management, business, administration topics. Thank you for being here. Let's get started. The agenda today is an overview of the research process and methods related to it. We've created a one-page slide which gives an overview of this. Hello, Professor, how are you doing? Let's talk about a generic research process method.
Thank you very much for calling. Research process or research method. Research is a very important activity. Even when you are doing your MBA, you have to develop your thesis, etc., or your projects, and you need to carry out the research. Or when you are working in an organization in different departments and you have certain problems and issues to be solved, so you carry out the research. So research is a very, very important activity for solving your problem. Within research, there are certain modern tools which can be used for, the solution of various problems relating to different issues, as we, are defining here that research is a modern tool to find out solutions of various problems related to different issues. Within this definition, let me tell you the most important element of a research method is developing the questionnaire. That what do you want to research, what do you want to know, how do you want to know, and what benefits will you have after you get the answers. Therefore, what we are going to do is we are going to go through the steps that are actually required in this. And we start with first step, that is problem definition. Then we develop research plan, and then we collect information, and then we analyze and finalize findings, and finally we take actions. Now, how do we do that? Let's discuss one by one. Now, problem definition is again a very important factor. Define, analyze the problems, symptoms, and causes, develop research objectives, methodology, etc. Now, here we are using two buzzwords. There are symptoms and causes. Any problem that you are facing, there are symptoms which tell you that there is a problem. The conditions or the situation tells you that this is a problem. But how has it been caused? So that will be covered under causes, that what, when, where, and how. So most important is not only the symptoms, but the causes, because you have to remove the causes to solve the problem. Symptoms are just to identify the problem. And when you are sure of the causes, then you develop, develop research objectives and methodology. That how are you going to carry out the research and what methods that you are going to use. That we'll be discussing in the other topic. So, a research team, individual, and subject matter experts and personal, well, we have to decide whether this research is to be carried out by a team or by an individual. That can be subject matter expert or at your personal level. So if it's a larger project relating to a corporate development, then naturally it cannot be just one individual effort. It has to be team. And within the team, you have to have subject matter experts, and they carry out the research of their own subject, and ultimately they put it together. And then we go to step number two, that is develop research plan. Now, how are we going to go about? First, we are going to see what is given in the print media. We carry out the study of articles, analytical reports, previous research reports, what has been printed in various, business magazines, and, marketing magazines and things like that. So we carry out that what is already available in the print media, and we dig out what is relevant to us. And then we go down to electronic media research. That is, we carry out what is there on Google and what is there, how the Yahoo can help us, or any other, search engines, how can they help us to bring out the data which is required for our research purposes. And in this case, we also study the technical papers and publications and patents, etc., which are available on the electronic media. These days, there are a number of articles and publications available on the media, which you can, study and dig out the information which is required for you. So that is what we call, print media. Then we go to step number 3, collect information. Now, what we have done is that we have defined the problem, we have studied the electronic media, we have studied the print media. Now we have to identify and finalize the relevant information. That information which is accurate, which is sufficiently detailed, and which is available. We capture that information. And here we define the information into primary source, secondary source, internal and external. Primary source is basically the source that you carry out your own research. You are not basically, studying any methods, but your own personal observations are your company's observations, your company's reports, audit reports, and annual reports, and things like that. Secondary is the print media or the electronic media. And internal, external, again, internal comes under primary and external becomes under secondary. So that we have discussed in step number 2. Then we design, here we have the questionnaires that I was asking, survey questions. Now that is what, when, where, why, how. Defining or developing the survey questionnaire is the most important factor. This has to be done by the subject matter experts or the chief executive or the heads of the departments, those who want to know, because answer of this questionnaire would be actually the solution of your problem. So therefore, we would say that developing questionnaire is an extremely important factor. And then, of course, observations and experiments within your own company or at your personal level. And then we go down to step 4. Now, analyze and finalize findings. Now, by now, what we have done is we have sufficient data. We have collected data from reports, from electronic media, from print media, from our internal sources, from external sources. There's a lot of a kind of data bank is available to us. Now, we have now to finalize and dig out the information that we are going to actually use in our report. And then we analyze that data. And when we analyze the data, we develop a format of the report, that in what format are we going to present that data or the contents of that report. Now, first we prepare the draft, and that draft is distributed amongst the team members, and sometime it is conducted in a review meeting or executives meeting and things like that. So that draft is studied, analyzed, and then the final report is prepared. That comes under our step 5, prepare final research report. So that is, now we are actually printing or preparing or presenting that report. Here, the most important factor is that we attach the annexures. Annexures is, let us say, we read an article, or we read a public report, or we read a experts report. So we attach the copies of those reports within the with the final report. And then we also give references that what data from where did we pick up, and those websites and things like that, so that the final report is based upon our scientific data, not flimsy data. And we also discuss the source of data, that where did we pick this data up, so that whosoever reads this report has a full-fledged view of the report, that this report is based upon a scientific data which is collected through proper channels. And then we also mention in that report that who was the person who, or the team who prepared this report. We give their names, their designations. There is sometime in certain reports, their qualifications are also given to give a kind of authenticity to the report. And this research report, mind you, the kind of report that we are talking is not a couple of pages. It could be something like 100 pages, a book all told, or a thesis, things like that. So that has to be well prepared, then, very well presented in a book form, or in a report form, or in, PowerPoint presentation form. And that has to be properly recorded and preserved, so that can serve a guideline for the individual or for the organization to follow. So that's what is all about the research process or methods.
Uh,
Yes.
Thank you everybody for watching. Please like and subscribe to all our social media.